PAWS Academy. Here, every week, you will get a chance to learn something new and exciting about pets or wild animals and how you can help them. Hi there! Welcome back to PAWS Academy, and if you are new to PAWS Academy, welcome! My name is Bailey and I'm an educator at PAWS, where people are helping animals every day. In the last episode, we talked about how trash affects our wild neighbors. If you missed our last episode, you can click the link in the description. It'll take you right to the video. In this episode, we are going to continue learning about different issues that are affecting wildlife. In this episode, we are going to be focusing on why it's important to make sure our furry cat friends don't get too close to wildlife. In this episode, we are going to learn about some of the ways that our pet cats can be dangerous to wildlife and what we can do to prevent this. Our pet cats are no doubt some of our beloved best friends, but they can also be a major threat to our native wild neighbors. In an average year, about 10% or 1 out of every 10 patients at the PAWS Wildlife Hospital are known to be victims of cat attacks. Last year, 524 patients at the PAWS Wildlife Center were victims of cat attacks. This makes cat attacks the second highest cause of injury to both bird and mammal patients at PAWS. For us to be good stewards for our animals in our neighborhoods, it's important to keep cats away from wild animals. Let's talk about 2 patients that came to the PAWS Wildlife Hospital after being attacked by cats. This northern alligator lizard was rescued from a cat. During her initial exam, the amazing team at the PAWS Wildlife Hospital found a puncture from a cat's tooth over her right hip. Cat saliva can carry bacteria that often causes serious infections in small animals, so she was put on antibiotics. The veterinary team looked after her while the wound healed, and she was able to make a full recovery and return back to her wild habitat. This brown creeper was attacked by a cat and was treated at the PAWS Wildlife Hospital for a swollen wing, infection from a puncture wound, and missing tail feathers. The stiff tail feathers of creepers are super important. Creepers rest and forage on tree trunks. These tail feathers support creepers as they climb. She was able to make a full recovery thanks to the PAWS Wildlife team, and PAWS released her back to her natural habitat. Creepers need large old trees to forage, and standing dead trees, snags, for nesting. These kinds of trees are most common in forests. As stewards of our wild neighbors, it is so important to protect our forests as our communities grow. You may remember this from the habitat loss episode, which featured the northwestern pond turtle. If you haven't seen that episode, make sure to check it out. Animals like the northern alligator lizard and the brown creeper could live much safer lives if pet cats were not roaming freely outside. Cats are naturally super hunters when they're outside because they're so well fed and have a warm place to sleep at night. Wildlife here in North America aren't adapted to escape from these amazing cats because cats aren't a natural part of their habitats. Let's learn a little bit more about this from a wildlife expert. I reached out to PAWS wildlife naturalist Jeff to hear what he thinks. Over to you, Jeff.
So my name's Jeff Brown. I'm the wildlife naturalist at PAWS Wildlife Center, and I'm here today to talk to you about wildlife and our cats. I work at a wildlife hospital. I see this issue every day. We almost every day get a patient that has been attacked by a cat. And so we really want to spread the news. We get about 500 cat attack victims every year. And since our database has been digitized in 2013, we've had almost 7,000 cat attack victims. A research paper that came out years ago that estimated that our cats are killing somewhere between 1.5 to 5 billion birds every year. And that's having a huge impact on our wildlife, or specifically our wild bird populations. And mammals, it's even worse. It could be up to 22 billion every year. Hundreds of millions of reptiles and amphibians. So again, this is a huge issue for our wildlife and something that we can prevent. And the one last thing I want to bring up is that we want to think about this a lot of times because we all love, again, our cats. We want the best for them, but we also should think about things from the wildlife perspective. So a good example is the Swainson's thrush. Many of you maybe don't know about Swainson's thrush, but they're the relative of a robin, which a lot of people do know about. And they spend our winters anyway, down in Central and South America. So they migrate thousands of miles. They come from a different continent to, spend the time in the forest here in Western Washington. So can you imagine all the dangers, all the other predators that they've had to pass and get through to arrive here, and then they end up getting like hurt or killed by our cats? So it's just something that will make you really sad, and again, very tragic to think about, because, you know, again, they've done all that work to get here. And I especially love Swainson's thrushes. I think of them as like the song or the sound of summer. They really just kind of brighten our forests with their beautiful songs. If you haven't heard of it, you should check it out. That's kind of all I really wanted to talk about. Make sure that we use catios, keep our cats inside, or just in some way prevent our cats from getting to wildlife and hurting them.
Thanks so much, Jeff. I learned so much from you, and everything you said makes sense for keeping our pet cats and wild animals in our neighborhood safe. Did you know that the average lifespan for an indoor cat is 15 to 20 years, whereas the average lifespan for an outdoor free-roaming cat can be as little as 3 to 5 years? My cat, Chloe, is 16 years old and is living her best life. Outdoor cats that roam outdoors unsupervised face dangers such as vehicles, other animals, poisons, diseases, and getting lost, among other things. There are so many ways to protect both your furry feline friend and the wildlife around you. If you get a new cat, it's easiest to keep them indoors from the beginning. But if you have an outdoor cat friend, it's not too late. Here are some tips to help make the transition to becoming an indoor cat. If your cat is already spending part or most of their day outdoors, begin by bringing them in at night. Then bring them inside for longer and longer visits. If you can, begin these visits at the time of the year when the weather is colder and wetter. Your cat may like coming in to be warm and dry. It's also important to make the indoors fun for them and create the perfect environment for your pet cat indoors. Make sure that they have a place in the sun and a way to look at the action outside. You can install perches or shelves in sunny spots near a window to give your cat a spot with a view. Play games with them and keep them busy and active while they're inside. There are also ways to let your cat enjoy the outdoors while staying safe. If you have watched the Pets series of PAWS Academy, you may remember catios. A catio is a cat patio, and it is a safe enclosed space outside your home that allows your pet cat access to the outdoors but keeps them and the wildlife in your neighborhood safe. Or you could even try leash training your cat. Many cats like to go on supervised outdoor walks. With a leash and a sturdy cat harness, your cat can safely go on adventures with you. Even cats who do not like the harness initially could get used to it. Try putting the harness on the cat for short periods of time in the house. Make sure it's a fun experience for your kitty. To learn more about how to keep habitats healthy and keep your cats safe, visit the link in the description to see our Safe Cats, Healthy Habitats resource packet. All that is to say that the wildlife in your neighborhoods will so appreciate you keeping your cats safely confined. Wild animals will be able to find food or get a drink of water without worrying about being attacked by a cat. This is where you come in. You now have all these great tools and resources to share with the people in your life, so do that. Sometimes people don't know that their best feline friend can be so dangerous to wildlife. All it takes is one person to say, "Did you know?" to potentially change their outlook on a certain topic. It's time for you to take action. We want you to investigate ways to keep your furry feline friend happy indoors. Go to our website, paws.org/PAWS Academy, and click on the activities that go with this video. You can learn more about catios and more about how to keep both your furry friend and wildlife safe in our neighborhoods. If you learned something new today, make sure to give this video a like or a thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm so excited to keep learning with you all. The next time I see you, we will continue to dive deeper into issues that wild animals are facing. Until then, I'm Bailey. Keep helping the animals. Bye-bye. A special thank you to our friends at VCA Animal Hospitals for sponsoring this episode of PAWS Academy. Make sure you click that red subscribe button and turn the bell on so you don't miss another PAWS Academy video. See you next time. Bye!